The Devil Wears Prada Part 2. Yep, I'm on my way right now to go see that in the theaters. Let's go. I'm going to do not a review, but we're going to break it down why this movie is important to the culture. Now, we know the first one was a classic, in my opinion, 2000s classic. The main thing I love about the first one, and if you haven't seen it, go check it out, Gen Zers and Gen Ayers. The first one had a deep message. It just really showed a woman practically selling her soul to have this high ranking job position at this magazine publication. That was big back then, but people are even bigger on selling their soul nowadays for any type of clout, any type of position, any type of way they could get ahead, any kind of fame. And people need to remember integrity. That's the message from the first Devil Wears Prada I got, was integrity. So I'm curious to see nowadays, with everything going on social media, people feeling like integrity is okay to go out the window. Everybody's in things for themselves nowadays. What's going to be the message behind part two? And did the main character from part one learn her lesson, or is she going to do some more soul selling in part two? But I'm hoping that the 40-year-old version of herself, or 50-year-old version, I don't know how old her character is right now, I'm hoping that she will really take those lessons and pass positivity on to the newcomers. For anybody who thinks this is just some fashion film and you can see some nice Louboutins and some, oh yeah, there's Prada in the name and I'm just into the fashion. Nah, watch this movie and pay attention. So go back if you haven't seen the 2006 version, check that out. And now I'm about to go into the theater, watch part two, and we're gonna break down the message in this one. Also, before I start, you know I gotta do the snack of the day, because none of this really works without the snack of the day. So let's get into that. All right, so for the snack of the day, you know what? I'm gonna roll with these. I wish they had ranch or barbecue or something, but you know, you can't go wrong with these. Now, I do need a mini cup, but I think I got a mini cup in the car. So I'm gonna just get this in there and I'm gonna be good. Also, you know, gotta grab a little energy. It's the second movie of the day for me, so let's keep this going.
Excuse me, Dr. Banner.
So that movie definitely had a lot of strong messaging that I want to touch on. As far as the film within itself, I'm not gonna sit here and do the whole Rotten Tomatoes thing, 9 out of 10 or 5 out of 10 or what. No, 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 no. You go out there and you go see this movie if you're a fan of the first one. If you're not, if you're just now jumping in, then I don't know. That's more so your choice. I thought it could have been a little bit more entertaining. I still think the first one is classic status. The second one, to me, while I might not watch it a bunch of times, I do appreciate the messaging, and we need to talk about the messages. There are a lot of messages, like I said, but I want to talk about the main two messages in this film and why The Devil Wears Prada 2 is important for not just film culture, but everyone to watch today, especially Gen A, Gen Z, and millennials, where clout chasing is at its worst nowadays. So look, this film, just like the first one, brings up integrity. The main message, well, there's two, but the first message I want to talk about is for everybody who likes to idolize these industries, whether it's fashion, music industries, film, any one of these prestigious industries where there's a million people dying to take your spot. This movie shows you a glimpse of how toxic it could be. And I say a glimpse because we know it gets way worse than this movie even shows. And this movie shows a lot of brutal stuff. It's not what it's all like cracked up to be. And I think that people should really see this movie and take that message away from it. Don't just get mesmerized by the fashion and the cameos from the celebrities and going to Paris and Milan and all that other stuff. That's all cool, but it's not worth it. But you know who doesn't seem to think that? Anne Hathaway's character. Yeah, she does. She's like the dumbest one in this whole film. Yeah, I said it. Oh, you're being kind of harsh on her. No, I'm not. I did not like her character in the first one, and I still don't like her character in the second one. That doesn't mean I don't like the movie. I appreciate how they wrote her character because they're honest. A lot of people sell their souls and integrity to get ahead in life, and she's the prime example. Oh man, but how? How did she do that? Okay, like I said earlier, in the first one, she threw her own boyfriend under the bus. Well, didn't throw him under the bus, but she threw the relationship under the bus by flirting with powerful men in the industry before breaking up with her boyfriend, knowing that it was wrong. And her friends called her out on it, and she knew it was wrong and still continued to play denial. She knew what she was doing, and she never apologized for that. And I still don't like her for that. But I appreciate the movie because of the messaging. Now let's go to number two. How did she let us down this time? How did she show a lack of integrity in part two? She showed a lack of integrity by having this horrible boss who just treated her like she was less than nothing, was ungrateful, talked down to her, probably gave her all sorts of mental health issues if this was a real life situation. And when that lady, I'm talking about Meryl Streep's character, when Meryl Streep's character was about to lose everything, Anne Hathaway's character came to save her ass when knowing that she didn't deserve it. I don't care how grateful in the back of your head you think that you are for that lady because she gave you an opportunity before. You do not reward people who treat other people like they're nothing. And I know that's become, unfortunately, very popular in these prestigious industries to where you kind of get used to it. You kind of get used to people talking down on you, taking you for granted, just like shitting on your whole existence, not respecting your personal time, your personal space, your boyfriend, your family. I know that a lot of people have gone, unfortunately, to expect that from people, but you don't give up your integrity. In this film, when Meryl Streep's character was about to lose everything, and Anne Hathaway's character was just fighting and fighting to save her and eventually saved her. I'm not going to spoil it, but saved her. Man, I just feel like, what kind of message are you sending to yourself and to anybody around you? Now, I guess thank God she didn't have any kids, because if she did, how can you look your kids in the eye and tell them to stand up for themselves and have pride in themselves when you're running around just letting this powerful woman just mentally dog walk you all over the place and just treat you like nothing, and you still take up for her? Just like that girl said on the phone. She said, "Hey, Stockholm called. They want their syndrome back." Yeah, she's showing signs of Stockholm syndrome. I'm gonna say like that because if this was a real story and you were in Anne Hathaway's character's position, you'd probably have PTSD from having a boss like Meryl Streep's character. So I think the main lesson from this movie is to know that this whole industry that you think is popping, whether it's fashion, music, film, whatever industry you think is so prestigious and you can't wait to be in there and failure is not an option, just understand that it comes with a price. And this movie made that very clear. You know, also, what I love about this movie was it showed Meryl Streep paying the price. As messed up as her character is, she was honest that even she lost everything, even before they were threatening to like fire her and replace her and all this other stuff. She already lost her husband. Her kids probably don't rock with her. Nobody rocks with her. She's probably hella lonely from years of just mental abuse. And I don't know what's going on with these industries why people just have to be just despicable human beings to stay on top. But that's just how it is. And this movie shows that. I thought this movie really did a good job of showing how terrible these industries really are. And I hope that people are soaking that message in because some people are getting mesmerized. Like, for example, I grew up watching Entourage, and I'll be the first one to tell you, growing up watching Entourage, if you're not familiar, Entourage is a show on HBO that followed the life. It's fictional. It's fictional, but it feels very real, just like The Devil Wears Prada. It follows the life of an actor who carries his childhood friends with him around through his journey in Hollywood, and it shows the ups, the downs, the highs and lows, however you want to call it, of Hollywood, and it just does it in a very entertaining way. And I used to be mesmerized by, like, living in New York, seeing LA, like, damn, I can't wait to move out there, which is why I moved out here now. Well, part of the reason. Damn, it's so beautiful. Look at Vince Look at Vinny Chase living the life. Look at this and that. But some of the deeper lessons in Entourage, I think I appreciated later on in life. Like once I got beyond that immature stage of life. And this movie does that. It points out the bad, I would say, even more than Entourage, to be honest. So that's the main takeaway from this movie, I would say, is whatever industry you think is prestigious, film, music, fashion, whatever it is, think twice because you might have to give up everything, including your soul, just to get ahead, and nothing is guaranteed. You might get ahead and have your shine for a few years, and just like that, it could be taken away from you. And it's important for the youth to understand, and not just the youth, even people who are 40 years old right now. Integrity comes first. I don't care about anything after that. Like, if you got to lose everything, but you keep your integrity, I promise you, you will not regret that on your deathbed. That's how I feel about it. So that's the first thing to take away. Now, what's the second takeaway that I want to touch on? The second takeaway I really want to touch on was they showed that the whole print magazine as you know it from 2006 in the first one is dying. And things were kind of like crumbling down for a lot of people in the industry. A lot of people in the industry were getting laid off. They were getting moved around, demoted. They were even saying that Runway, the print magazine, it was no longer a print magazine anymore. It's just digital. And they're focusing on content that people scroll by when they're taking a piss on the toilet or taking a number two on the toilet. And so the takeaway from that I wanted to show is it's very true. And I thought this movie was honest about that. It wasn't delusional. Yeah, just like film and music, fashion and a lot of industries are kind of like not disintegrating into nothing, but they are being kind of like, I would say, downsized into smaller pieces. Why is that? It's because times have changed. You know, people aren't going out to buy magazines in person anymore. They rather look at the magazine's Instagram or YouTube channel before they go to a website. We know this. This is nothing new. Just like in music, people don't want to run and go buy a physical CD. Why would they do that when they can stream it? You know, film, same thing. But it's all about adapting. But what I do want to say is the bright side, and this movie might not touch on this, but I'm here to just fill this message in to anybody watching this who's seen the movie. The bright side to all of these things downsizing is that a lot of that toxic culture gets swept away. Just like that. A lot of that toxic culture it's time for it to get up and go. Oh, how? How? People always gonna be toxic. Yeah. But if magazines aren't selling as much anymore, then they have to downsize the company. If you downsize the company, the people running these companies lose a certain amount of power. They no longer could just change the whole world or change your whole life at the touch of a button like they used to in the 2000s. It's not going down anymore. Yeah, there's still going to be people who are kind of like, you know, there's always going to be bullies and corporate bullies and stuff like that. But I feel like it's a perfect chance for a lot of publications to go independent or people to start independent publications. So for anybody watching this movie and feeling sad that, damn, this is a reflection of real life, like a lot of people are losing jobs and positions and nobody's buying magazines. What are we going to do? No, the act of publications is not going anywhere. It's just shrinking. So it leaves room for independent things to come about. Why is that a good thing? Okay, yeah, maybe you start an independent publication, right? And it doesn't make you, let's say, $20 million dollars a year. But let's say it makes you a good amount of money, like close to 1 million, or you could easily become a millionaire or even a high thousandaire, even like maybe you're making like a half a mil. Wouldn't you rather do that and have ownership of your own things and have the freedom of your own things than to have to join the rat race and end up like Anne Hathaway's character? Isn't that a good thing? I'm sorry, but I like to see some of these big corporations and industries and systems get downsized, not fully go away, but some of it needs to get downsized so people could have to distribute some of that power, so independent creators like me and like you or whoever's listening, that opens up doors for you. Because honestly, that whole system of like one person's at the top and they can reward or punish you at the touch of a button, that stuff needs to go. I'm sorry. It needs to go. If you look at Meryl Streep's, I can't say Meryl Streep's character, yeah, just like in the movie, remember when she in the first one she kept throwing her jackets and throwing her bags on the table, like she doesn't even say good morning to her assistant. She just comes in the room, takes off her jacket, throws it on the table, takes off her purse, throws it on the table, like, yeah, go deal with that. In this movie, there's a line where they said, yeah, somebody complained to HR, so she had to stop all that. I was like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's time to humble all of the crooked, powerful people. Now, if anybody who's gonna hit me with the, oh man, another person just hating on, corporations and the rich, you can't get rich by hating on the rich. It's not about hating on the rich or anything like that. A lot of people on YouTube are rich by starting their own podcast or their own talk show or their own publication. You can still get rich, but at the end of the day, I'd rather see people have $3 million in their pocket and freedom and no mental health issues related to their job. Yeah, it's gonna be stressful, but like not to that extent of Anne Hathaway's character. I'd rather see that than to see one person making 20 million, and if you don't do what they say, they could fire you, call up all their friends, and make sure that you never work again. That's whack. So I thought that this movie pointed out some good things, and I just wanted to add my 2 cents to the messaging behind this movie. And that's just my personal take on it. I could sit here and talk forever about messages behind this movie. I just can't overstate that. The whole culture of Anne Hathaway's character, super not healthy. Do not idolize that. Watch this movie, enjoy it. It's a good movie, appreciate it, but don't idolize, in my opinion, Anne Hathaway's character. And if you do, that's your business. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not sitting here judging anybody, but somebody has to say it. So that's how I feel about this movie. That's why I feel like The Devil Wears Prada 2 is very important to, I usually say film culture, but this one is just culture in general, American culture, you could say that. Check it out. I want to know what you think. Drop some thought-provoking comments in here and let me know, do you agree? If you disagree, I welcome all of that. Call me out. Let me know what I got wrong. Let me know your perspective. I don't care. I'm here for all of it. Let's have a friendly debate, or let's just I guess agree if you agree. But that's what this channel is for. Movie discourse. Of course, I want to, talk about, yeah, this movie was entertaining. Go see it. I'm here for all of that, but I'm all about the discussion. We have a million review channels out there. Cool. Who's talking about the messages behind these movies? And other than that, that's pretty much my take on it. Like, subscribe, please share this video. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and definitely catch you on the next one.